Some folks are taking the opportunity to get a check on their health, the big takeaway from the Stroke Awareness Day event. Plus, protests over the Israel-Hamas war now colliding with college commencement season. We'll have a look at where things stand across the country.
And a level 3 risk of severe weather is in place for Wednesday. Your forecast coming up as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Some afternoon thunderstorms brought some heavy rain and lightning. Things are fortunately calming down out there now, but the threat of severe storms is not over. First Alert meteorologist Cameron Aaron is here now with a look at what's to come. Cameron?
Yes, Steve, we are still watching out for some heavier showers and a few thunderstorms this evening. But again, we are tracking no severe weather alerts at this time. That's the good news. Let's go to First Alert Pinpoint Doppler, and most of the action right now close to the Kentucky and West Virginia border. Zooming into some heavier showers and thunderstorms close to Louisa and Lawrence County, pushing into Wayne County, West Virginia as well. And some more light to moderate showers for parts of Owsley County, moving into Clay, also Perry and Breathitt counties. A first alert for Boonville, also for Buckhorn. Some heavier showers pushing into your direction, and a heavier storm not too far away from downtown Whitesburg over in Letcher County as well. Now, we do have a first alert weather day in place today and tomorrow for different rounds of strong to severe storms. This round will last through 1 a.m. this evening, and another round on the way tomorrow, and that round may be a little bit higher from 4 p.m. through 4 a.m., and that will be on Wednesday. All modes of severe weather are on the table. That strong straight line winds, large hail, heavy rain, and possibly a few tornadoes as well. We do have a level 3 enhanced risk of severe weather in place on Wednesday for the entire region. More details on that severe weather chance coming up in just a few minutes, plus a cool down on the way for this weekend. All that coming up in main weather in just a little bit.
We have had significant damage to a large portion of the town.
That's the mayor of Barnsdall, Oklahoma, confirming one death after his town and neighboring areas were hit hard by an overnight tornado. As you can see from this aerial footage, 30 to 40 homes were damaged and about 24 people were left without shelter. One woman whose apartment was damaged described her experience.
And all of a sudden that loudness just came, the hail came so hard, I thought, oh crap. And I turned around to go towards my door, and it literally pushed me in on the floor of my apartment. And then I had to get up shaking real bad to lock the door.
A tornado also tore through parts of DeKalb County, Tennessee, damaging at least a dozen homes there. Another one late last night caused considerable damage in Sullivan, Missouri. Officials with the Jackson City Police Department say 2 Breathitt County high school students are still in critical condition after crashing into a tree. The crash happened in Breathitt County late yesterday near a rehabilitation and nursing center on Jet Drive. City of Jackson Chief of Police Brian Haddock says 2 boys were trapped in the car when officials arrived. A third was in the vehicle, but he was able to get out of the car. All 3 were taken to the Jackson Hospital before being sent to UK Hospital in Lexington. We will have much more on this crash and the community support for these young athletes tonight at 6 and 11. May is Stroke Awareness Month, and healthcare professionals are trying to spotlight the signs and how to respond. WYMT's Buddy Forbes is in Pikeville, where doctors say prevention is all about being proactive.
Pikeville Medical Center is hoping to save lives by sharing the signs and seriousness of stroke. The hospital hosted its awareness event today, bringing information to the second floor atrium, spreading resources to hospital staff and visitors. Doctors say the event stresses the warning signs and encourages people to prioritize their health and awareness, since strokes are so common in the area.
We live in a stroke belt, Kentucky, where there's a higher incidence and prevalence of high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, tobacco abuse. We are high up there. And of course, drug abuse too. All that can lead to strokes. Doctors say the biggest hurdle when it comes to strokes is awareness. So they hope hosting annual events like this will continue to spread information that can save lives. In Pikeville, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The hospital also has a partnership with University of Kentucky Healthcare to address strokes. Hear more about that coming up at 6. 6 more years of President Vladimir Putin's rule began today in Russia. He was sworn in for another term in an extravagant ceremony. The celebration comes as Russia has put another American behind bars. Staff Sergeant Gordon Black was stationed in South Korea. He was visiting a girlfriend in Russia, a country listed as a do not travel zone for the U.S. military. Authorities arrested him last week on charges of criminal misconduct. His mother says the girl accused him of stealing.
She said he was arrested, let go. He was in a hotel room, and then she didn't know what happened to him. And then all of a sudden he was arrested, I guess.
Black joins a growing list of Americans held in Russia, including Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and retired Marine Paul Whelan. U.S. officials say the men have all been wrongly detained. As tensions remain high in Ukraine, 2 members of the country's Secret Service have been detained for allegedly planning an assassination attempt against President Volodymyr Zelensky. Officials say the plan extended beyond the president, also targeting other high-ranking officials in exchange for money. The prosecutor's office says one of the suspects received drones and ammunition from Russia's intelligence network to help carry out an explosion. College commencement looks very different for millions of graduating students. Campuses across the country are grappling with tough decisions amid intense divisions over the Israel-Hamas war. Karen Kaifa has a look at where things stand across the country.
Protests over the Israel-Hamas war now colliding with college commencement season.
Campus is operating on like 10%, 5%, and we're still paying full tuition and watching all of this unfold and not getting graduation too.
More than 2,300 people have been arrested on college and university campuses since April 18th. The demands of pro-Palestinian protesters vary, but many are calling for schools to divest from entities that they say support or benefit from Israel's war in Gaza. On Monday, Columbia University, an epicenter of the demonstrations, announced the cancellation of a campus-wide commencement ceremony scheduled for May 15th and will hold smaller school-based events due in part to security concerns. Other schools across the country have also adjusted graduation plans or heightened security. The University of Southern California canceled its main stage commencement, which typically brings together 65,000 students and their families. Emory University announced Monday it would move a scaled-down university-wide commencement off of its Atlanta campus. While the protests were not the chief focus of President Joe Biden's remarks on Tuesday, he condemned recent threats against some Jewish students on college campuses during the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum's annual Days of Remembrance ceremony at the U.S. Capitol.
There is no place on any campus in America, any place in America, for anti-Semitism or hate speech or threats of violence of any kind.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Coming up on First at 4, new concerns about toxic chemicals coming from the inside of your car. What researchers found and what you can do to stay safe.
Plus, we are tracking some more stormy weather on the way tomorrow. Your forecast after this break.